Hey there, travel beauty chasers, and welcome back to Chasing Travel Beauty with Stephanie. I would venture to say, like, we all love a good vacation, right? Be it a beautiful beach, a majestic mountain, even ancient ruins. But what if travel could be more? What if it could be more than just, rest and relaxation? What if travel could be one of our greatest teachers? That's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the lessons that travel has taught me. When I look back, I go, wow, there's some powerful life lessons that I have gleaned as a result of travel. One of the first ones that travel taught me is that when I think about the diversity of humanity, we're actually more alike than we are different. I remember before going to more Muslim-based countries like Dubai, Turkey, Morocco. We get fed so much information through media and other people's opinions who haven't even been places. We have an opinion, and it can shape what we think, or it can shape how we feel about different groups of people. And the more I travel, the more different types of people, different backgrounds, different religions, different colors and complexions, the more I realize we're more the same than we are different. We all love the people we love. We all want the best for the people we love. We all, work hard to be able to provide for the people we love. At the heart of it, we're the same. We're humans. We're humanity. We're created in the image and likeness of God. Like, we are at our core the same. And I feel like that is one of the most powerful lessons to get, especially in today's crazy, intense environment. If we could all figure out that, wow, at our base, at our core, we're the same. And in going to those places, I was greeted with nothing but kindness and respect in place to place. So again, we're the same. The second thing I would say is a huge learning for me is that fear shrinks when we face it. So when we turn a light on it and say, okay, I see you. I'm going to feel the fear and I'm going to press forward anyway. It actually diminishes and gets smaller. And this, I get this lesson many times. Like, first time you solo travel, you're going to get this lesson. Anytime you do something new that's uncomfortable, you're going to get this lesson. Anytime you go into a location where, maybe you've been told certain things, you're going to probably get this lesson. So I recently had this lesson when I was in Cartagena. I was staying in, oh gosh, I'm blanking on the name of the area, but I stayed in like the new town at the Hyatt, beautiful property, highly recommended. And I wanted to go into Old Town for dinner at a place called Carmen's. It's a well-known place. And so I took an Uber there. It was already, sunset, and it was, I was told on a tour the previous night, yeah, you probably shouldn't walk around, solo. Maybe that's, as a solo female, maybe not the best idea. But they also said, there are police everywhere, but it's safe, right? So they gave me that assurance that it would be safe, but if you feel uncomfortable, maybe you shouldn't do it. And so I had an amazing meal, and I wanted to be able to walk around because that's what I do. When I go into any area, I want to be able to walk around and see what the people are doing and have that full experience. And so I said I could either shrink back in fear, call the Uber, literally I got dropped off at an Uber, get an Uber and leave, or there are all these people out here. I could choose to just go ahead and walk around, see what the sights are. There were all these lights because it was, before Christmas, so all the lights were up. It was beautiful. I'm going to be posting my Cartagena video, so that's a side. Let me get back on track. Stay on track, Stephanie. So I decided to walk around anyway. I felt the fear. I felt uncomfortable. I decided to walk around anyway. And I had an opportunity to explore and take pictures and see things I wouldn't otherwise see because I was only walking around in Old Town during the daytime. So it was good to feel my fear and do it anyway, and be rewarded with the beautiful views. But I would say one of the biggest lessons that I experienced not too long ago is that, like, from a personal self-development perspective, is that, you know, I'm able to handle harder things than I think I am. Like, yeah, you know what? You're stronger than you think you are. And we probably all are stronger than we think we are. But it's like when we get these opportunities for that strength to show up, this is when we get to see it. So I mentioned to you guys, if you've been following me for any time, like, I love all things Italian. Like, I can go to Italy year after year. And I went to Sicily. I think I mentioned this in a recent video. Like, the first year after my mom passed, I went to Sicily. I was on a group tour. I was, you know, solo traveling. But for Christmas and Christmas Eve, my cousin and a childhood friend came to be with me so I wouldn't be alone on Christmas. And it was wonderful. It was fantastic having them. And because Sicily felt so healing and restorative for me in this, you know, place of grief, my first Christmas without my mom, I thought, I'm going back to Sicily. Year 2, I'm going back. And I went truly solo. So imagine this. It's Christmas Day. I'm sitting in the hotel alone on Christmas. And I thought, well, this doesn't feel so great. So I decided, you know what, I need to go be near some water. And I remember I had gone on this tour and I thought, well, I can walk to this place where there was this beautiful water and these big rocks. I can get there. Now, I kind of misjudged how far it was in my mind. Anyway, so I take out on this trek. I start walking, you know, 8 miles later. The area that I was walking alongside the water was coming to an end. I was like, okay, well. And I walked back and I saw a restaurant and I was like, oh, well, there's a restaurant here. It's now, you know, dark. I'm exhausted from walking 8 miles. I'm like, I need to sit down. I'm hungry. I didn't intend to walk 8 miles. I don't know how this happened. So I go inside. The restaurant is filled with all these families. They're all having their Christmas meal and it's all loud and everything. And I walk in and honestly, it felt like something out of a movie. Like all of a sudden it was like, like it was like a hush in the restaurant, and seemed like all the heads turned and faced me as I came into the place. And in that moment, I had the opportunity to either, flee or stay, right? I could retreat or I could stay. And what I heard was my old script in my head saying, oh, they're all looking at you because, like, you're Black. And then what I heard is, like, you've been to Italy, I don't know, 20 plus more times, different parts of Italy, and never once have you felt that your race was an issue in this country. Why do you think everyone in this room is looking at you because you're Black? Maybe they're looking at you because it's Christmas and you're single out here by yourself on Christmas. Maybe that's why they're looking at you. So I decided, okay, here's your opportunity. Like, you can either just say, okay, I'm gonna call an Uber. I'm gonna just go back to the hotel and have a meal there. Or you can stay, maybe feel uncomfortable, and hopefully, because I didn't know if it was good food or not, hopefully have a good meal. So I told the gentleman, yes, I'm here. I would love to, have dinner. It must have been like, I don't know, 11, 12 course meal. Amazing, delicious food. And over time, when people realize, oh, she's okay, she's comfortable in herself, she's having a good time eating the food, people would smile, look at me and smile and nod and like to acknowledge, like, we see you, Merry Christmas to you. The wait staff, everyone was just amazingly kind and thoughtful. The chef sent me out something specially made. Like, it ended up being a beautiful experience. And it just showed me, like, one, we don't have to hold on to the old scripts that we play in our head. We don't have to run and retreat, but, when faced with uncomfortable situations, we can stand. We can stand in our who-ness of, like, I am worth eating an amazing meal on Christmas Day, even if I'm doing it by myself. And it was just such a I feel like a liberating experience. And again, this idea of knowing that um, I can do hard things. You know, being on Christmas by yourself, in and of itself, is a hard thing. But guess what? We can do hard things. And then a last lesson that I'm going to share is recently on a flight. And this is really around the idea of like, we can always choose kindness. Like kindness is always the right choice. And in this case, I didn't make the right choice from the start. So I'm on a plane, I'm flying back, and this woman gets onto the plane. She's hacking and coughing. I'm like, oh God, she probably got COVID. I don't want to be sick. Why is she getting on the plane, hacking and coughing? Like, I didn't say anything to her, but I'm having this whole dialogue in my mind. I won't make eye contact with her. I put my coat over my head. I'm sure she already feels terrible. She knows she's sick, right? She doesn't want to be sick. She doesn't want to make anybody else sick. But she's got to get from point A to point B. And in the middle of the flight, she does have a medical emergency. The woman who was sitting in front of her happened to be a physician. They had to bring oxygen to her. And I immediately got convicted. And the Lord was like, instead of complaining, why aren't you praying for her? Like, nobody can convict you like the Lord. And I was like, yes, I should be praying for her. And so when we deplaned, she was the first one to get off. And so I said to the physician, like, you should be the next to get off, because literally you basically were treating her and taking care of her almost the whole flight. And we kind of chuckled, and I told her, I said I felt so bad because, when she got on, I was like saying, oh my God, I'm going to be, she said, and the physician said, I thought the same thing. And I said, and the Lord just made me feel like, you should be kind, you should be praying for her. And then she said, well, something like the Lord will forgive us. I said, well, but you earned your forgiveness. At least you actually tended to the woman, made her feel better, but we said that part in humor, but it just reminded me, like, kindness is always the right thing. Kindness is always the right choice. And so I made a decision from that point, like, you know what? Let's choose kindness. It's so easy to choose kindness. It might not be the thing that comes natural, because in that moment I'm thinking the fear of like, oh my God, am I going to be sick? I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be inconvenienced. I got to hear her hacking and coughing all the time. I got to make sure I'm wiping my hands and sanitizing. But kindness is always the right choice. So yes, travel can absolutely take us to amazing, beautiful destinations. But if we let it, I think it can also teach us. Like, it can teach us about humanity. It can teach us about courage and resilience. It can teach us about kindness if we let it. So maybe it should be less around, where am I going to go next, and more about what am I going to learn on my way there? What am I going to learn as I go? I'm curious, has travel taught you any lessons? Or for those of you who haven't done much travel, are there any lessons that you're looking forward to learning once you start? I want to hear from you. Please be sure to I can speak. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Well, friend, we have reached the end of our time together today. But there is no need for sorrow, because I want to see you tomorrow. But until then, keep chasing travel beauty wherever your journeys may take you. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.